I know. It's been a bit, hasn't it? The girls and I, we got to a place where life just felt like it was too much. And we just needed to crawl inside of a hole and just be. We were at a place where we had been knocked down again, and it just felt like getting up was gonna be too hard. It felt like the darkness was swallowing us whole. And it just felt like it was one thing after another, and we just couldn't even come up for air to breathe before we were getting knocked down again. And so we just decided to take some time and just be and feel what we needed to feel and do what we needed to do to try and pick ourselves up again. This video may be unpopular to some, and there are some that I'm sure are going to have the opinion that I shouldn't be coming on my platform and speaking the truths that I'm about to be speaking, that I should be keeping these things to myself, that there are some things that you shouldn't share with others, and it's too much information for them. And to that, I say I strongly disagree with that. I feel like if people don't speak about their problems and speak their truths, then other people don't know that there are other people that are going through it, and they feel alone and they feel less than. And as prevalent as social media is in our society today, there is a lot of masking that goes on. There is a lot of illusion that people portray on their platforms as to their life being perfect or their life being great, as they don't have problems. And I think that when that is portrayed in such a way, there are people like myself that feel less than, and other people who see that and it really just knocks you down more, and you think, what is wrong with me? What have I done wrong in my life that I can't have that life? And so I'm not gonna come on my platforms and be fake. If I can't be transparent, then I'm gonna do just what I've done over the last couple months, and I will be quiet and be silent until I am in a place where I can be real with you, because that's just who I am. I am promising you that I am getting to a place where there is going to be more DIY content on this channel. It's just been hard. I have been in a place where I wasn't feeling inspired, and I've just been in this stuck place, and it was hard for me to create and feel inspired for the holidays, with it being this time last year that we were told there was nothing else that they could do for Ray, and treatment was going to stop, and he had just a couple of months. This time of year has been hard for us, it being the first year. But I'm promising you, after the 1st of January, I am going to stay committed to my healing, and I am going to create because I need to for my own emotional well-being. So with that being said, I will forewarn you that what I'm about to show you is heavy and it goes deep. It was just a few months ago that my 24-year-old daughter, Kayla, and I were told on speakerphone when I called my ex-husband to talk to him. We were told by his now girlfriend that she was going to tell us the truth about our life with him. And she proceeded to tell us that she had been a hidden presence in our life, in our family's life, the last 2.5 years that I was married to my ex-husband. She told us that he had been having an ongoing affair with her for 2.5 years, so much so that he had a hidden cell phone that was specifically for her. We were told that he was miserable for the 17 years that he was here with us, that he never loved me, was never in love with me, and that he didn't care and doesn't care what happens to me. I didn't know this until just a couple of months ago. I thought my ex-husband and I were in a good place after the divorce. I thought we were friends. So much so that he was at my son's bedside the day he died. So much so that I honored this man with my son's flag at my son's funeral. You come to a place when something like that happens to you and you're left questioning everything in your life, every memory that you had with that person for 2.5 years. You're left redefining your entire life, remembering things that they said to you, things you did together, and knowing that the whole time they were saying those things or doing those things, there was a woman that was a hidden presence in our life the whole time, who was okay being a hidden presence in our life for 2.5 years on the other end of a hidden cell phone. We found this out 6 months to the day after Ray passed away. There was no keeping this a secret, because this was the same woman who had told my girls and I on Father's Day, this past Father's Day, that Ray's house was on fire when it wasn't. I don't know how you come to a place in somebody's life. I don't know how I came to mean so little to my ex-husband that doing this was what he needed to do. I didn't know what we were feeling. I knew we were feeling a lot, and I knew what we felt cut really deep. And then when there was a name put to it, and it was called betrayal trauma, I'm going to play a clip for you. And this clip will tell you what betrayal trauma feels like if you've never felt it. Let's talk about betrayal trauma for a second, because it's something, unless you've experienced it, it's really hard to understand. It's kind of like trying to describe the color blue to somebody who's been blind from birth. So let's try this on for a second. I want you to imagine the person in your life that you love the most, that you feel the safest with, that you trust the most, that you've invested so much of your time, effort, energy, and life with. And I want you to imagine that you guys are going skydiving. And right before you jump out of the plane, the person unclips your pack, pulls your parachute off your back, and then kicks you out of the plane. And as you're falling, you're looking up, and you can see them flying by, just looking out the window with a big smile on their face. Like, ha ha ha. And you're falling, and you have all this time to think about it before you hit the ground. And then bam, you hit the ground. But you don't die. You break every bone in your body. You can barely breathe. You're just sitting there, gasping for air, immobile, and you're stuck. And then this person that kicked you out of the plane, they come down flying tandem with somebody else. They're laughing, they're smiling, they land next to you, look over at you, they smile, and they laugh, and they walk away. That's pretty much what betrayal trauma feels like. And it's trauma. It's trauma in your nervous system, it's trauma in your mind, and it's one of the most difficult experiences someone can go through. And now we're circling back to almost a year and what this time of year last year represented and looked like to us. And we're grieving that. We just finished cleaning out Ray's house and all his clothing and getting it ready to rent. And now there is a family in his house renting it, securing it for Kayla, so in the future she can take over the house, because that's what Ray wanted for her. He provided for her as a big brother that way. And so we needed to rent it out, so it wasn't just sitting there and I wasn't paying for a house that nobody was living in. We needed to make it so it was paying for itself. I thought after we got all of Ray's furniture out, we had just left his clothes and his board games there, that would be easy. But I think subconsciously I knew that it wasn't going to be. That's why those were the things that were left until the week before renters moved in. Then it was the night before the renters moved in, last Friday, the 15th. And I found myself sitting in his house crying, because I was afraid his essence and his being was going to be gone. So I hid things of his in the house, so a part of him would be there forever. Part of him would be there, so when Kayla moves in there, he's still there. I try to be positive and say I know we're going to be okay, but it doesn't feel like it right now. It feels like we're constantly treading water. And I'm tired of treading water. And no matter how much I say I'm tired of treading water and I want life to change and I want it to be better, there is so much trauma that we have endured over the last couple years. And I can even probably go as far back as saying when my mom passed, my sister passed, but now it's Ray and then my ex-husband facing what he's done to us, what he was able to do to us so easily. I tell you, when somebody does that to you, it leaves you wondering, how do they do that and find peace within themselves? I know the healing is happening. I know it is. The EMDR trauma therapy is definitely working, and I'm feeling the strength coming about me. I'm coming out of the fog that I was in, and I'm seeing things for what they really are, and who my ex-husband really was, and why he did the things he did. And I'm understanding now that there is a lot of emotional and psychological trauma that the girls and I are now unpacking. What I know is that I'm going to get back to what I love. I'm going to find my way back, because I'm fighting my way out of this darkness. And the girls and I are going to heal. Right now, we're picking up the pieces of our life, and we're trying to put it back together again.